break it down, there's an explanation for why the percentages are that low. And other times it's just put the ball in the hole.
That's a very frustrated Dean Vickerman right now, who has a 17-win, 4-loss record coaching against the Adelaide 36ers.
That's solid. It's very, very good.
And if you take out two of those losses, which were in the grand final series from a couple of years ago, he's 13 of 15 in the regular season coaching against Adelaide. Not bad.
Wasn't that a spectacular grand final series? Not either way.
Yeah, one of the greats, all-time greats. The final series we've seen.
Changed on it. Nathan Sobey. Half-time ejection.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what. Good strong take from Jack White. Daniel Johnson's got to do better. Sit down. Slide your feet. Stay in front of your man.
Like I was talking about earlier, if you're going to get beat, you know where you're going to get beat. So I'm going to overplay, take something away and do my best to slide my feet and keep going one way. But when you've got choices and they can spin back on you, that becomes hard.
White aggressive again to the rack. Finish off that time.
An extra possession on the glass. Adelaide out hustling them, out playing them right now. Melbourne need to turn up their energy.
Well, 3 of 12 on the field for that second quarter. Melbourne United, 0 of 5 from threes for 11 points. That's not going to cut it against anyone in the competition. So sometimes you can break it down, there's an explanation for why the percentages are that low. And other times it's just put the ball in the hole.
That's a very frustrated Dean Vickerman right now, who has a 17-win, 4-loss record coaching against the Adelaide 36ers.
That's solid. It's very, very good.
And if you take out two of those losses, which were in the grand final series from a couple of years ago, he's 13 of 15 in the regular season coaching against Adelaide. Not bad.
Wasn't that a spectacular grand final series? Not either way.
Yeah, one of the greats, all-time greats. The final series we've seen.
Changed on it. Nathan Sobey. Half-time ejection.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what. White. Good strong take from Jack White. Daniel Johnson's got to do better. Sit down. Slide your feet. Stay in front of your man.
Like I was talking about earlier, if you're going to get beat, know where you're going to get beat. So I'm going to overplay, take something away and do my best to slide my feet and keep going one way. But when you've got choices and they can spin back on you, that becomes hard.
White aggressive again to the rack. Finish off that time.
It's already an early substitution here for Cambesto. Here's Jack White, quick little left to right cross. And he's all over the rim. That is just Olay. Matador style defense.
Was it?
There from the big fella.
It was a real crossover. He certainly wasn't in a fundamentally sound defensive position, sliding those puppies, keeping him going one way. When he crossed that over, that's what I'm saying. When you're forcing him one way, okay, I'm going to send him left. When he crosses over, he's got to run into you. You can't just let him go by.
Besto out of the game, as Liam said. Sotto checking in. Sunday Ditch forces Golding into a foul. Besto has played 11 minutes today, 9 points and 7 rebounds, so no question with his output, but as he told John Casey in the opening half, just feeling a little sore after Friday night's game.
Played those 26 minutes, 18 rebound all.
Most injury related rather than just fatigue. That's broken him down after a hard-fought 26-minute effort.
I think Liam's just sends a little bit of don't hate the player, hate the game your way through.
Well, I'm saying what I'm suggesting is that there has to be some injury issue.
He doesn't have a lot of run in the legs in recent times. Yes, though. Barely played last season, of course, for Illawarra. And he's coming into the starting lineup, playing really well, and just finding it a bit tough today.
Sotto at the top of the key, that's not a good pass.
That's the second time we've seen that from Soto. DJ has the seal down low. You got to give it to him. He doesn't want to release that seal.
And that's one of his great advantages. With that size, if he can, it's very hard to pressure that pass. He brings it up, just got to find the target and get it to him.
43-34. Over to the basket. Soto's length was a problem for him, but Lawala Chul's length has been a problem for everyone this season.
Well, they had the numbers. It's a 4-on-1, and the one come up with it. Wanted it a little bit more.
There's that length once more, blocks the shot. And Withers is fouled while shooting the three ball. He goes to the free throw line to shoot three.
And Drew, you talk about wanting it more. This is the block shot from Joe Lawala-Chul, sending Sunday Ditch away. He's blocked 2 or more shots in each of his last 7 games. Joe Lawala-Chul. That's an impact. That's his first one today. But I think that would have been the key message from Dean Vickerman at half-time. That's 4th personal on Caleb Agata. He takes a seat and see him for the rest of this term. Was how hard are you playing? How much do you want it? They're outplaying you. Adelaide kept Melbourne at 3 offensive rebounds in that first half. So they're 1 of 11 from 3, but they're not cleaning up and getting extra opportunities. 2 early ones in this third quarter that have resulted in easy buckets. They have lifted their energy.
Well, they came out with it. You've got an 8-point lead. You think, oh, we'll just feel our way through this. Things are going nicely. Melbourne United crank it up a little bit on the defensive end. But this Adelaide team, when you're, 3-6, and you've just come off a tough road loss, you've got to be playing for your life. Every possession. If I'm CJ Bruin, I'd rather my 2 guys wrestling for it on the defensive glass than just standing there hoping it falls in the direction of one of my players.
Let's get courtside to John Casey.
Jack, Caleb Agata's had 2 slow games here in Adelaide. Just 6 points when they played here last Saturday night. Hasn't scored since quarter time in this game, but then again, neither has Chris Golding. They certainly just need someone to come up with the goods from deep. They had a 4 night shooting-wise. Agata came in averaging 15 points a game. So they need a little bit more output out of him at the moment as Adelaide lead by 10.
And to back those shooting stats up, Case, 1 of 15 from outside today. 6% from the arc, Melbourne United. Johnson tries to step out. White must take in transition. And the finish. Jack White, playing a lone hand this afternoon, has 11 points to go with 5 rebounds.
He's leading the charge in terms of lifting that energy, getting on the offensive glass, getting out in transition, making things happen.
Sotto fires away for 3. And again pushes the issue. Lawala-Chul has White. Soto lost him defensively, and White gets upstairs. He's scored the last 4 points in the game, and Melbourne have got it back to a 6-point deficit.
Soto's just caught between watching the ball. He was retreating, and here is White, just the energy. Great pass on the outlet, just using his strength to rise up. Easy one. And down low, you see Soto, he's sort of there, no ball pressure, no hand pressure. And a simple pass to a cutting Jack White finishes off with a 2-hand dunk. CJ straight away calls a timeout.
We did, your guys here, just keep backing up and keep him in front. Offensively right now, I need the drag. You got to keep finding the pace. Second side down is good. So we got flow down. Swing the ball.
That kind of it. We talk about 17-1 as a pro. This is White. He's a winner, makes winning plays, and he's lifted his intensity to begin this second half.
And for Melbourne fans, next Sunday, United return home for the first time in over a month Tones and I are going to be playing at half-time. Drew, one of your favourites.
Dude, Frankston girl.
Offensive foul on Soto.
Good game. They got through the set that CJ was talking about and got to the action. And just a moving foul there by Sotto. Gets called for the block. One thing too is Spalding's 0-4. He's gone 4 quarters, consecutive quarters, without a field goal. And Leonard Copeland spoke about this last time we played. We see Jack White continue to dominate on the offensive end. But there are times, as great as Chris Golding is, that do they run enough sets for him? When he's going through a spell like this, do they actually get to enough action and have a set play for him rather than just relying on transition? And a very poor entry pass by Golding that time.
Tom Withers is adamant that he wasn't the last man to touch this. He's begging CJ Bruton to take it to the replay centre. They decide not to.
He's pretty confident, wasn't he?
Golding got in the paint. That's right, short. 0 from 5 today. McCarron for Soto.
Beautiful finish from Soto. McCarron just held it back an extra moment. The pass wasn't exactly on the spot.
It was a rubbish pass.
Soto made it work.
Made it look good by Soto. Soto looking like he's running in mud a little bit as well. He's fatigued. So we got to push through.
Besta into the paint, over the top of White.
He's got his wind bag. And Besto checking back in. Roll the ball into the big fella, and he continues to tick it over. He's in the double digits now with 11.
36 is leading by 8. Dellavedova forces Withers into a foul.
There's the pass. It was well short and low. And Soto, just with the creativity extra point value, hoping that it was going to be the regulation dunk, but made a poor pass look pretty good and has a spell. Good run by the big man. Soto is proving to be, we weren't sure what we're going to get out of Soto, but played the 13 minutes for 7 points. Only got the 2 boards, and even in that game against the Jack Jumpers only had the 2, so that's an area where he can improve, but you can see his touch, his finesse, tidy up some of those passes, get a little stronger. And with a man of his size, he's going to be in demand.
The pride of the Philippines, the 19-year-old. Global audience this afternoon for Sunday Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL. They ride every single possession when Soto's on the floor.
Besto with the moving foul again. Just the hips moving out. You don't need to do that. It's a relatively easy one for the officials to make, that call. And his intent is good, Besto there, but just as he handled the ball off, just sticks his butt out and gets called for the moving screen.
Adelaide led by 8 at halftime. The lead is currently 6. Quickly takes it at Daniel Johnson and picks up his first foul.
Making a focus of Johnson. Defensively, Melbourne United. So you know what? If you've got DJ in front of you, or on the deck, get to the rim. Simple handoff at the top. And Mason Peatley aggressive to the rim.
Mason Peatley very good when the team's played in round 8. 11 points off the bench and 4 of 6 shooting.
Free throw percentage a little down this season, only at 58%. Career-wise, he's been pretty good at 73%. Knocks down a couple there.
Withers comes out of the game with 17 points and 5 rebounds. One of his best performances as an Adelaide 36er, and that is sloppy. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again?
That one was a little different. I think that he wasn't helped that time with McCarron taking off before the screen was set. Here he is. He's put the ball on the floor, and he's on the drive, before Bairstow is in a stationary position. So McCarron is half to blame on that one.
Newley backs it out to Illy. Gets into the paint. It's a tough shot in the end. Fouls on the ground, but that'll be bonus free throws for Melbourne.
Another offensive rebound. They did such a good job in the first half.
Only had 3.
Only had 3.
Now they're up to 7 offensive rebounds.
And for the most part, they're having a lot of possessions here. They're doing a good job forcing misses, and they've just got to finish that possession by cleaning the glass.
It's a part of the game. You got to know what's part of the game. That's what I'm saying.
He went out and went back.
Higley makes the second. Those poor kids, they're going to eat the chair. They go the entire game without a burger. Desperate for a Melbourne player to miss a couple. 3-point game. Melbourne are doing it slowly, but have edged their way back in. Bairstow for 3. Rebound Dellavedova. He's got his head down and wants to get busy on Dusty Hannahs. Hook Porty. Places up on Bairstow. Goes with the right hand. Doesn't get the stick. Bairstow identifies that Johnson had the steal. Nice pass. Better offense.
That's the action, the high-low action, big to big that Adelaide have been trying to execute. So it's a couple of times out of bounds. Bairstow there puts it right in Johnson's hands. And he's doing a good job sealing up down there, the big fella. And you've got to reward him.
And almost a bit old school, that play. It used to be every single team and try and have a rim runner every possession where you run the rim and tuck in. That you don't see it as much these days with more 5 out, straight into on balls and getting into early action. But that time, DJ does a good job. Just sprints down. He's got a good defender on him in Peatling, but just seals underneath the basket. And the high-low action, very effective on that occasion when the pass is on the money.
It's Chris Golding coming back in. 0 from 5 from the field. He's the best 3-point shooter in the competition this year. He averages 4 a game. We've seen him take 3. Successful in all of them.
He's dealing with an elite defender in Sunday Detch.
Got away from Detch that time. Just look for 3. Rebound McCarron. Sotto back on the floor. Hannahs. Not that time. Sotto outstanding. On the offensive glass. Had one arm held. Tipped it back in with the other.
Well, enjoying his own work, as you should. Got a little lucky, but put the paw up. The hand goes up. He's just going up there and is able to guide it in. And no substitute for size. And the big fella just gets in front of the basket, gets his hands up in the right position. It's a nice bounce and tidies up the Hannah's miss.
Then the other end, Drew, Melbourne doing what you were talking about before. Chris Golding checks in, they run some action for him. Straight away, get the switch, get the bench off him, and as the defender, and then throw in another pick. He's now 0 of 4 from long range.
2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Really important 2 minutes for both teams. Newley was helped in by Hook Porty. John Lawala sitting on the bench at the moment. Jack White, the leading scorer for Melbourne with 15. Tom's with us is Adelaide's leading scorer with 17. Hannahs with a hand in the face. Doesn't get him to drop. Porty keeps it in for Illy. And Newley had Peatling running the floor in transition. Sensational pass.
It's a beautiful pass and a great run. Talk about rim running, Drew. Mason Peatling just putting his head down, sprinting that middle lane and getting rewarded.
23. Oh. Melbourne United are going to do that. They're going to continually test you in transition. They are flying it. Everyone's running the floor And just got to dig deep if you're an Adelaide 36er defender and understand that's the objective. And almost go back to a similar style which we saw from the legendary Joey Wright with his Adelaide 36ers. That was the Adelaide 36ers calling card.
I know, but it was at the front. I wasn't pulling behind,
And
so
then-
both at the front. Yeah, it's not for me. Yeah.
Melbourne United now trying to use similar strategy in order to pick up those cheap baskets, and they're very effective at it with this incredible depth of talent that allows them to rotate their guys, keep the energy level high.
Ewing has a fumble. Almost knocked it out of bounds. Hands over to Golding. Shot clock at 6. Room to get the 3 ball away. That jumps out of the cylinder. Sums up his afternoon.
Not to lose confidence. Chris Golding, 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 5 from long range. Just the 1 point on the board, but that was a good look. Can't keep giving those to him because he'll start knocking them down.
'36ers going to take a lead in the 3/4 time.
Oh, looked like a hook by DJ. Dean,
That's a straight hook around his head.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's a straight hook. Time out and review it.
Hang on.
Pitch.
I'm sure you can review a non-call.
I can't give you an answer. I literally don't have a view on it.
But how can, this is the problem that Dean Vickerman's going to have, is
So you
that
have a timeout, guys. All right. The coach is asking that figure in the field. It's a hook before the second.
but that was before the foul.
Yeah.
You can only review the foul. Now that's the hook that I was talking about, but then he got called for the push.
The coach is asking for 2-second play. He's asking for a hook before. No, he can only challenge. If it's a blocking, that's what he's asking for. So blocking foul we have.
It's a block.
No problem. All right, cool. You have that replay sound?
Well, it's going to win.
Unfortunately, they missed the hook.
Yeah,
They missed the hook in the moment.
Dean
and that's
won't
gone.
win. Yeah, so Dean can't win this one now, he's correct, because it was a foul.
Yeah.
And this is the difficulty with the review system. You can't challenge a non-call. You can only challenge the call. So the call was for the block. So they've missed that, but then they've got that. So then they've got now the push and the block. So this is going to be in the that category that.
So for those watching at home, maybe not too familiar with the review system, each coach has one per game. But you can only challenge what has been called, as Gazy said, not what hasn't been called. A foul can't come later after a review. So that hook with the left arm of Daniel Johnson's is irrelevant.
Which should have been called.
Should have been called, but it was a foul on DJ when unwhistled, and then you see Mason
With
just leaning in with
the left
arm and shoulder. That was the blocking foul. That's now what Dean Vickerman is essentially challenging, and he's going to lose that challenge.
Now, my argument would be is that because it's all in the same place, it's a bang-bang type thing. If you're going to expand that review system, then I think it is you should include those plays. Now, if you've been fouled, you take a dribble, and then something else happens, and then you go, well, okay, I understand you've got to draw the line somewhere. But in a bang-bang play like that I think that they can't, but...
Okay. So the coach's challenge is successful.
Whoa.
The call will be overturned.
Wow.
The foul will be on blue 21, offensive foul. White ball at the baseline.
Well, maybe I don't know the rules.
Well, that's a surprise.
Maybe I don't know the rules.
We'll
Overturned.
have to get clarification of that
White ball down here, Ruben.
after the fact. That's
Yeah, no problem.
Not my understanding of the rules.
not either. Dean Vickerman.
Now, morally, it's the right thing, in my view. But according to the rules, that's what...
Happy days, but
we'll need an explanation.
Hear a little bit of the explanation to Sanjay Group. Illich in the corner for Newley. Adelaide take control. Shot clock switched off. Sotto found Hannah's cutting. He was clubbed by Brad Newell.
Now what we have from outside the 6 and moves on the context. Yeah, so I want to have a look at this. So replay center, can we have a look at this for C2?
Really good read. 36 is the backup for Hannah's. Just have another look at this as a potential upgrade with the wind up there and then Brad Newley coming down across the head. Going for the ball, ends up making contact with the front of Hannah's head.
So what will the replay center be looking at here, Liam? More sufficient force than the original call?
Excessive force.
Yep.
Yeah, but geez, I don't know. I'm still trying to recover from the previous one. Wait, am I? Stay focused on this one.
Well, I think he's clearly hitting in the head, but I don't know if there's enough force to warrant an upgrade there, is there? Well, it's certainly not intentional. He's going for the ball. But I'm a little gun shy here.
So the call has been deemed to be an unsportsmanlike.
Well, the only way
We haven't had a good couple of minutes here.
the only way I thought that could be the case is if it was got to a level of force, because it was a sort of a glancing blow, and he had his hand on the ball, didn't he?
On swings and roundabouts, Adelaide fans wouldn't have been happy with the way the previous challenge worked out. They got the result there. We've got an 8-point game. It's on the verge of three-quarter time.
Sunday ditch out. Hiram Harris in to add an extra shooter on the floor for this last play. That hurts. Off the knee of McCarran. Melbourne will get a bonus possession here. In 239 NBL games, Melbourne United have never made less than 3 threes in a game. They've got one in essentially 3 quarters.
One of 19. That is good fortune for Adelaide.
And they couldn't make it to McCarran. Big block on the stroke of three-quarter time. Adelaide take an 8-point lead into the final quarter. 59-51 at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Have the 36ers got the goods to shock the ladder leaders? Don't go too far. You'll find out next on Sunday Hoops.
Tasmania put themselves in a terrific position right here, Adelaide, to cause a massive upset.
They've had a couple of opportunities this season.
Right here, Adelaide.
Going into the last quarter. Close out games. Friday is the most recent memory for them. They lost to Tasmania. Goes tied up in that game. Golden opportunity on their home floor today. Has balance, gets it going.
We just think there's been quite a little creativity, and Hannah's has got that where he can sometimes create things off the dribble and get himself into trouble. But Chris Golding just showing a level of anxiety. He goes down, he's being hit, it would appear. Really forcing an issue that time by Chris Golding.
Hard landing too.
It was a Blakely that hit him.
Slater's head hits the floor too.
Just hit his hip. Golding's hip hit Pigling. Golding's head hits Pigling's hip. That's what caused him some discomfort.
And his head hit the floor on the way down too. So medical officials will take a look at Chris Golding. With the protocols in place now. Adelaide lead by 10. Agata back out there. Perhaps a little earlier than he did when they arrived with 4 fouls. Need to find a way to get some offense going. That'll help. Tipped up from Luala Chul.
That's one way to find some offense that's worked pretty well for them in this second half. Getting on the offensive glass. Lala Chul and Jack White creating extra possessions and helping find some baskets.
That's just a breakdown though. Got blocks out.
Hannahs misses the layup. Newly downhill, a hard man to stop when he's in that mode. South Australian back at home today. That's some good minutes for them across the season. Phenomenal score, back-to-back buckets. It's a more manageable 6-point deficit for them. Luala Chul stole it away, and up he goes. 6-0 run. JLA's flexing, and CJ Bruton's got a problem. 61-57 on Sunday Hoops. How quickly it can turn.
It is, and just really sloppy play. We take a look at the dunk. Luala Chul in the lanes does the right thing, up and in. And just a little stagnant and hesitant on the offensive end. And Melbourne United, like champion teams do, when the game's on the line, they crank it up on the defensive end. They've started this fourth quarter in full denial, ball pressure mode. And that first play we saw by Dusty Hannahs is something that they might need to revisit. When they're that overplaying so much, get a little back cut, little ISO ball because there's not a lot of help. Those are the sort of things CJ Bruton will be looking at to find a way to keep this scoreboard ticking over.
The quarter's only been going 90 seconds, but the game is changing before our very eyes.
It sure is. Luala Chul just getting into the passing lane, sloppy pay, and then down the camera. Oh yeah, that's exactly where the lens is. Lets everyone at home know all about it. Adelaide gotta keep scoring. Melbourne, when they get into this mode defensively, made life really tough. Nobody's scored over 18 in the fourth quarter against Melbourne in this 8-game winning streak. 36ers, 20 plus in each of the last couple of quarters. Gotta keep finding ways to put the ball in the bucket.
And they've looked a little bit nervous to try to protect this lead. And another potential turnover or sloppy play. And as Melbourne United are cranking it up, CJ's got to figure out, well, what's the counter to that? A little backdoor cut, pick up a cheeky like that, or spread the floor because they're in that denial mode and get some ISO ball. Get to the rim, try and draw the foul, get to the free throw line. Like that.
Withers couldn't finish. Bairstow does. 11 points and 9 rebounds. In fact, make that 13 and 10, double-double territory for Cam Bairstow. Now he's trying to stop the Wildachul in the low block. Nickling on the offensive glass, loose ball. It will be Melbourne's.
Yeah, Withers is coming across at the right moment to force that miss from JLA. Hands up there, full scramble to clear that board. Melbourne get it back.
So, Drew, with the Adelaide 36ers, their execution was an issue down the stretch on Friday, and it has been. Who's the man in the fourth quarter? Who do they play through?
Well, Bairstow's been a good touch. We saw him get a nice putback there. Also, Withers is having one of his best games for the Adelaide 36ers. They're going to be your targets. And it's usually Daniel Johnson. It's usually him. And in these moments, he has this uncanny knack, despite having not necessarily one of his better games. When the game's on the line, he welcomes that pressure. So they do have some options to go to.
This is Chris Golding as we check in with John Casey.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, Chris was taken away from the huddle during that last time out and was assessed by the Adelaide 36ers doctor. He was smiling, appeared to be lucid and suggesting, from what I could see, that he is okay. He's made his way back onto the bench, so one suspects that he is good to go if he's required. Crowd here today, 4,906. It's a little bigger than it was when Melbourne were here last weekend when it was 4,819, but pushing 5,000 at every home game. The fans here in Adelaide sticking fat with their team and some of the best crowds in the NBL this season here in Adelaide.
Well, Case, if they can get the job done today in that next home game, crowd against the top bands might look a little juicier.
I think they do have limitations in South Australia and the venue capacity here as well. So
we should never forget the world we're living in at the moment.
they'd probably be drawing a few more than that if it went further for that, if I am actually correct. I know it was a couple of weeks ago. I assume that things are still the same.
The research has been impeccable today. I was finding out that you're wrong. The Wildachul went up. Bairstow is saying that he got nothing but ball.
This might be worthy of a challenge right here. Big moment. Lead by 5. Might have been a push there, but we can't, or maybe you can, and that's a lot of ball from that angle.
Time out, please.
Yes, here we go. Not sure who's on the video review for the Adelaide 36ers. Someone behind there would have been quickly having a look at that to give CJ the advice of whether to challenge it or not. And the call was for hands foul, was it?
I believe so, yes. Here are the angles that the replay centre are looking at.
It's all ball upstairs. From that. Down the left screen there, the main one. Down the court view. Here it is. It's Bairstow. Goes up. That's all ball.
That's clean.
That is all ball. Now, on the basis that I think this is all ball, guaranteed,
Almost certain.
this will not be
Go
over.
the other way.
Yes.
Let's be honest. But CJ Bruton did hold on to his challenge earlier in the game. Remember, Tom Willis was fervent in his desire to get an out of bounds call, I think it was, reviewed. CJ just kept that thing holstered, brought it out in this big moment.
It's also not just the fact you might lose the call here, but it's lose the timeout as well. That's all ball. Just doesn't grow in confidence every time I see that replay.
Another key moment in the game right here.
Where it would have been maybe questionable is whether it was a push before he got there, but that's not what I believe we're reviewing. We're reviewing the action on the rim, and that's a block. why it's taking so long.
Based on our form today with the reviews, we are no gauge for what may be correct.
Well, we're over.
We are over.
At this point.
We're Chris Golding today.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The ball is confirmed. The foul is on blue 41, and we have 2 shots.
Honest to goodness, we couldn't hit a cow's backside with a guitar today, the three of us, when it comes to reviews.
Well, there you go.
Unless, of course, it wasn't for the action on the rim, and maybe it was the push, but dear,
and that's now 4 on Bairstow. So 4 for Todd Withers, 4 for Cam Bairstow. Could potentially be a problem for CJ Brew.
Huge, because he's got this tough matchup. Meanwhile, the Tools not going to stop attacking.
1 or 2, that trip to the free throw line. 16 points and 8 rebounds across the afternoon for one of the competition's premier big men this season. Johnson falling away on White. Offensive rebound by Bairstow. The 36 is another look at it. Shot clock at 6 for Duffelmeyer. He can see a path to the basket. It's tipped in by Bairstow.
Good take from Duffelmeyer. Correct. He's in the game in a big moment here in the 4th quarter and puts the pressure on the defense. The guard is on 4, doesn't want to foul. Got the step, couldn't finish. DJ there for the tip.
While Tool trying to take over at the other end. Threw it up. Made it work.
pretty sure he wasn't intentionally trying to throw that one off the backboard, but just got it up there, just trying to draw the foul. That last challenge did cost him. There's 0 timeouts left for the Adelaide 36ers after losing that challenge.
Knocked down in the mid-range from Bairstow. 17 points and 11 rebounds today. Wawala gave up the 3. Back out for Agata. He's clipped on the hand by McCarron.
They're trying to be physical and make things tough defensively. Adelaide and McCarron is a little overzealous.
You can't question what they're doing on the three-point line because Melbourne United are 1 of 19. So, but on that situation, you see what they're doing. The defense is in a drop situation, and they're relying on getting over the top and trying to swipe from behind and take away the 3-ball that way. And like I said, it has been successful. But in these big moments like we have here, as you get closer to the finish line, it's getting tight. They're the ones where you sometimes have to change it just because of the context of the game. Not that necessarily your strategy has not been successful up to this point.
All right, 1.
Gardner makes it a 3-point game.
Get over!
Bairstow out of the game with those 4 fouls, so can't imagine he's going to, I reckon 2 minutes. I reckon about the 4-minute mark is when CJ will be looking to bring Bairstow back into the contest.
Same with Withers.
Yeah, similar.
Duffelmeyer. It's Johnson. Tracks the crowd. Good look for McCarron. Buries the 3.
Like a huge play through Daniel Johnson in the post. As Drew said, makes good decisions in tight situations. Johnson.
He travelled.
Gardner well short with a hand in the face. 1 rebound lands in the hands of Daniel Johnson. Coming up to 5 minutes remaining at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Sydney and Perth next to go at Kudos Bank Arena. McCarron this time puts the ball on the floor.
And they're coming off McCarron for that double team. When they're throwing it down to DJ, it's the high guy, and they're coming off McCarron. He got burnt the last time down the floor. And Once you've made one, to go back and do it again, it was a decent recovery to try and get back to McLaren. And I know McLaren 7 of 20, only 30%, and that's 5 fouls for a gutter. So they lose his defence, but you've got Shea Ely coming in to replace me. He's pretty handy on the defensive end as well.
Tough inbound for Adelaide. Sotto did well to be a target. Good for mine. Hand in the face from Golding. Just did enough defensively. White running the lanes. Spins. It was off his leg last.
Every one of these stops, the bucket before from Mitch McCarron just makes things a little easier for CJ Bruton in that decision with Cam Bairstow top winning those guys with 4 fouls. If things had gone the other direction, maybe he would have thrown him straight back out there, but can continue to sit on those guys for right now.
Johnson saw Soto. That's a fire with the right hand. It drops out.
Good play, high-low action that they get through, get a good shot.
Porty. Guarded by Soto. Couldn't finish. Melbourne knocked out of bounds. Adelaide get it back. Porty comes out. Tom Withers still sitting for Adelaide. Their leading scorer in the game with 17. And a career high for him here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
They're still getting ready to check back in.
Shot clock at 4. McCarron falling away. Jack White, tired legs. Takes it up the floor for Melbourne. Dellavedova, 1 of 6 across the afternoon. What's the back at home? Adelaide almost gave it up. Sunday Dets, feet set. This game on a knife's edge right now. Illy out for White. Yes!
Big huge. Jack White has been massive in this second half. Crucial at the start of the third quarter, lifting the energy for Melbourne United. And that one, oh my goodness, they've left it behind.
He's Golding, and this is not what Adelaide need. Walala Chul crashed the offensive glass. Hard landing. There's every call for the foul.
And you'd hear on this White 3, did you hear DJ in the background? Stay at home, DJ! Stay at home, DJ! DJ didn't stay at home. And he came in there and helped out, and the kick out was there. And White knocks it down for a huge play.
He's had such an influence on this team since his return from a season-ending Achilles injury last year. Timeout called with 2:37 remaining. Adelaide, who have led virtually since quarter time, had their lead dwindle down to just 3. We're about to head into the Adelaide United timeout. Here's coach CJ Bruton.
But on offense, Floyd Power. I want Goulding down here. So Goulding's the first screener. So from Utah. Mac has got the ball.
Extra 5 minutes to sort it out.
Well, based on the way this game's going, Melbourne United welcome this because they certainly put themselves in the winning position, but across the entire game, they looked like they were not going to get over the line. In the last quarter, Adelaide gets nervous, few foul problems, can't score, and momentum going the way of Melbourne United. They would be grateful to be in this position, albeit that if it's not for Dusty Hannah's heroics, they're probably in the locker rooms.
Might have started thinking they had it there for a moment. Melbourne United up 4 with not a lot to play. Bairstow free throw, got to credit Sunday Dench for that effort on the offensive boards to keep that play alive. And Dusty Hannah's comes up big.
Hungry Jacks NBL, the first 15 games, I should say, the Hungry Jacks NBL. We haven't had an overtime game in the last 31. So we'll take a look at a couple of Adelaide greats in the stands this afternoon, Drewy.
Yes.
Yes, two stars. Scott Minnis, former coach of the Adelaide 36ers as well, still currently doing some work for them. Big Greasy.
Talk about a man that can shine glass. Paul Reese.
He was not blessed with great athleticism, but gee, was he the ultimate role player in that type of Warren Giddy style where he knew what he could do, playing along field spines with the people that he had around him, and the way in which that they were able to get the best out of him. Let's not forget his time with the Giants as well. Big Greasy, of course. There you go. Played for the Australian team at a World Championship too. Big Greasy.
We begin the fourth overtime game of the season. How's that for a start for Melbourne?
Oh, that's the man to be on to. Talk about it at the end of regulation. That's easy offense for Melbourne United. They only put it right on the spot.
Hannah's the hero for Adelaide late in the game. Starting out there in this overtime period.
Yes.
And Karen late in the clock for Bairstow. Got to catch and shoot. It didn't finish.
We didn't need to. He could have just come down with that and laid it up and just got a little nervous with it. And the perceived pressure by Luala Chul brought him undone.
Sydney coming up next against the Perth Wildcats. Needless to say, that's going to be a much later start during the overtime period here at the Entertainment Centre. Delhi for three. That'll be a jump ball. CJ Britton not too pleased. Possession arrow is Adelaide's way.
Much better by Daniel Johnson. That possession, sitting down, standing in front of Jack White, taking that away.
Three straight losses for the Adelaide 36ers. Friday night hurt them. That helps them. Dusty Hannahs.
And that's the sort of thing where when their defense is so extended and they're putting so much pressure, a guy like Dusty is crafty, can get by his defender. It's not always going to be a lot of help.
13 points in the game. Going. Still yet to make a field goal. Hasn't changed. White has been massive on the glass today. Couldn't score that time. And Karen into the corner. Detch corner pocket three.
Sunday Detch, the boys in the corner there. The jump fake. Really did a good job to contest. After losing his position, Detch good enough to knock it in.
Adelaide back in front. Luala Chul misses.
Both these teams can tell that fatigue really kicking in.
Karen combines with Bairstow. The bank at home. Johnson, offensive rebound. Points are going to count.
This is the poise you're talking about with Sunday Detch. He sees the defense running at Shea Hill and he comes back and does as much as he possibly can to contest that shot. Good recovery, and Sunday Detch knocking him down. Great composure. Only 2 of 11. And that adds further to that shot. Chock full of confidence on those numbers, but still able to knock it down.
Delhi from the top of the key.
And there's the example of what you were asking me before. They stick with the scout, they go underneath on Delhi, and yeah, he's made some, but throws up an air ball in a big moment.
Adelaide get it back and lead by 4.
It was only a 2 for Detch.
Hannahs.
Huge.
It doesn't have to be your day, but it can be your moment. Dusty Hannahs owning the back end of this game.
Spot on. Dusty Hannahs has spent a lot of this game on the bench. He's only played 17 minutes, but highly effective when it's mattered most. 17 points, 5 of 10 from the field. And another big clutch moment right there. Coming off, fighting over the top, not a lot of help. Delhi with the hands down. That's where you got to come and swipe from behind and try and just get in the vision of a shooter when you're trailing like that. And just really good stuff by Hannahs.
Let's take a look at Joe Luala Tools afternoon. The conversation is alive.
Minute and a half, chance to close that thing with a score down the other end, but they cough it up.
Dean Bickerman, 17 wins and 4 losses in his time against Adelaide. Staring down the barrel of loss number 5. And the 8-game winning streak in serious jeopardy right now.
It's been huge by the Adelaide 36ers in this overtime period. And by Adelaide 36ers, a lot of that is Dusty Hannahs. They're going to review this.
Todd Withers is fouled out for Adelaide. Caleb Agata out for Melbourne. Cam Bairstow playing with 4 fouls. This is Dellavedova. This is where experience comes to the fore in situations like this.
Just going to go through the review. Soto. There. Oh, was it whose leg? Is it Soto's leg? It's come off for a leg. Is that the Ellie's leg? Hard to tell from that angle.
I'm sure I'd be asking us today.
I'm sure there's enough evidence. Is there enough evidence to overrule? Like Ellie's cooked in that leg.
Original call was a Melbourne ball.
Ellie's, maybe his finger as well.
Thank you.
So Melbourne get it. Look, we've seen some bad misses from long range in these last minute or so from Melbourne United. Trying to continue to play. Oh my God, I was going to say through JLA, and Shea Ellie just knocks one down. My goodness, 4-point game.
A hush goes over the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The result isn't in the book yet. So they settle in and use their full 24 seconds available, Adelaide. Nervous hush Hannah surveys the floor, gets it back. He's been the man to go to late in the game, and that hasn't changed.
Not an easy one either. Into the paint, little floater by Dusty Hanners. He's showing the full repertoire.
Golding for three, he's fouled. No reviews left for Adelaide, so 3 free throws coming for Chris Golding.
Randy, James Wills got an extra review in OT. Something he can throw up.
How clutch has that man been?
Huge.
Wow. The triple at the end of regulation and coming up big in OT time and again.
That's one for Golding, who still has not made a field goal in this game. 0 from 12. Joe Lawal, by the way, equal career high today of 23 points. 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. Golding takes care of all 3. It's back to 4. 51 seconds remaining. Extended defense from Melbourne. Adelaide beat the press.
Maybe having used most of the clock up here. Want this shot in the last 4 seconds, 6 seconds.
Soto left open. Massive from Kai Soto. Fans on their feet. They can sense that victory's close. Detch all up and in on Golding. He doesn't make it. Johnson fouled. 17 seconds left. It's a 5-point lead with free throws to come.
Oh, this is sensational stuff for Adelaide. And those passionate 36ers fans in that building and watching on from home. Dusty Hanners, as we mentioned, has been massive in overtime and ascended into the extra period. And then Kai Soto, the teenager, doesn't hesitate, grabs his moment, extends the margin to 5.
Just had a foul again, Melbourne. Golding. Now they can wind the time down. They need to get it beyond halfway, and they do. Soto winds it down. It's the upset of the season. Adelaide coming off 3 straight losses, including going down late to Tasmania on Friday. Melbourne had won 8 in a row. Adelaide killed the streak.
Oh, crazy cities. At the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, that man, Dusty Hanners, Foot Locker player of the game. Geez, he wasn't having a terrific night, spent a lot of time on the pine, and then CJ Bruton turned to him late in regulation, and he came up huge. Others had bigger box score numbers. Cam Besto, huge double-double. Todd Withers, 17, was terrific, but Dusty Hanners in crunch time. 36ers get the win.
We're back to wrap it up after this.